So today I want to give you my take on how dating in the Philippines has changed over, let's say, the past 20 years. Some vloggers have done videos about that already. And today I just want to share and give you my opinion and talk about my experience and how I see this whole dynamic. Many guys who have been coming to the Philippines, actually I would say came after 2015, and I would say now since the past few years, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years, the Philippines has become a big trend. More and more guys eyeing for the Philippines now. This is due to the many vloggers. They're increasing. The Philippines becomes a very, very popular country, and the things I will say in this video, probably there are some guys in the audience who will agree with me, who also have been dating now Filipinas for over 20 years, because I came to the Philippines already in 2006, 19 years ago. That was 2006. That was the time when there was no Facebook, no YouTube, no nothing, right? I started to date Filipinas in 2006 in Hong Kong, and then 2 years later, I remember I hopped onto the dating sites, and dated P-Nice first. This is how I remember it. And by the way, if you want to use a great dating service, then you should try Christian Filipina. It's a great way to find new people online. It's an online dating service already established since 2009 actually. They won several awards, and I recommend them because they are friendly, conservative and trustworthy. Especially if you are a Christian guy, then you should consider Christian Filipina, because their service is for people who are interested in faith-based relationships, and if you want to get to know other people, other Filipinas safely. The link is in the description, check it out. So yes, I knew Filipinas before I tried out other dating sites 20 years ago almost, because there were tons of them in Hong Kong. I've done videos about it. I talked about this extensively now. You should know my story by now. So I met them in person. So what's the difference between dating Filipinas in 2006 compared to dating Filipinas in 2025? That's a very good question. Is there a difference? Online dating, for example, how was it 20 years ago compared to today? I mean, there's not much a change actually. Also, like 18, 19 years ago, you went online, you started to chat with a girl. At the time there were no smartphones, right? Only these internet cafes, I remember them. So either you had a laptop already, or I mean, in the Philippines at the time there were these internet cafes. I don't know if they still exist today, but I remember these cafes very well. And this is where also the girls went, maybe on a daily basis, for an hour or two, and then they chatted with the guys. So they had limited time available. This is one change, definitely. Other than that, I don't know. Are there more gold diggers today? Probably. I remember chatting with these girls online. I chatted with many, and especially during the period of 2008 and 2010. I chatted with hundreds of girls online, and I will confirm that at the time, I must say there were less gold diggers, 100%. This has changed. And the girls also at the time, they seemed to be more serious. Yeah, of course, depending on your own motivations and what your intentions were, you could find girls very easily. But in general, I would say that the intentions of these Filipinas at the time, 20 years ago, were different ones than today. This has to do with the whole social media dynamic, how things have developed or have been developing now. And because social media is also a great tool for many girls, it's leverage for them, you know. They leverage social media, and on the other side they get all this virtual validation, you know, it boosts their ego, they get more full of themselves, and at the same time they leverage social media to their advantage, you know. And that was not the case 20 years ago. There was no virtual validation. Yeah? I mean, you have a profile on an online dating site, yeah, you get some likes and messages, but that was nothing compared to today, where you, in addition to these online dating sites, dating sites, let's say, you have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, so many other apps, right? Where people constantly crave validation, get validation and approval, right? That's the tricky thing. The more approval and validation you get, the more you crave it, because you're actually weak, you're underdeveloped, you're immature. Mature people, confident people, men and women, actually don't need validation from other people, or approval. But that's how it is. Most of the people, also the Filipinas, are immature. 100%. They're immature, not very well developed, like so many other people, not only Filipinos, also like Germans and Americans, you know. We all have deficits, right? That's why social media is so successful. That's why it works so well. But again, coming back to the topic, the Filipinas 20 years ago seemed to be more serious. More interested in a long-term relationship, not playing around too much, hopping from one guy to the next. No. But if you wanted to date girls for fun, for quick fun, you also could do that. And I was doing that at the time. I was in for more like, I was not looking for long-term relationship that leads to marriage. I was in for fun and companionship, and I found it at the time already. No problem. I even visited some Filipinas in the Philippines at the time. I remember it was a piece of cake to hook up with them and everything, depending on your intentions. But in general, I would still say that you could still find many more good women during that time than today. So, yeah, and today the women, what's the difference to today? I find the Filipinas today, especially the younger ones, you know, and maybe in their early 20s, growing up already with social media for many years, yeah, they are definitely more cunning. These women are more cunning. Everything is more transactional now because of social media and the virtual validation I was mentioning, you know, these girls they receive a lot of, it's like a drug, it's like heroin, you know, cocaine. So psychologically healthy people will have no issues with drugs. That cannot happen. It's almost like a law. If you are grounded, if you are self-centered, if you are mature and developed, if you have a well-developed character and personality, if you're psychologically healthy, structured, grounded in your values and principles and other stuff, if you can give yourself enough validation and approval and don't need to get it from other people, if you are that, you won't have a drug problem. You won't have any issue with drugs. Trust me. But social media works like a drug, in my opinion. So dysfunctional people who are psychologically not healthy, who are immature, who are not self-centered, who are destabilized, who are weak, who are not able to give themselves validation and approval enough, they need to get it from other people. Yeah? So this is how it works. That's the dynamic. And since most of the people are immature and weak and underdeveloped psychologically and immature, it has nothing to do with age. You can be a 48-year-old guy like me and still psychologically underdeveloped and immature, which many expat men, by the way, are in the Philippines. You know, you just have to look at the comments in the videos. You know what they went through, and still new buses arriving to the Philippines. There's a bus not every 15 minutes. There's a bus every 2 minutes arriving in the Philippines, metaphorically speaking, right? With new American expats arriving in the Philippines. Having a complete wrong impression about country, dating culture, and other things, you know, because they're watching too many YouTube videos, and then maybe the wrong videos, so they get the wrong impression and they mess up completely in the Philippines, you know. It's not the fault of the girls or the Philippines or the culture or the country or the dating dynamics, which you also have to be aware and learn about, but it's more your inner game, you know, your own inner psychological shortcomings which lead to demise in the Philippines as well, and with the women there. You know, but anyway, and the consumerism also is a big thing these days. You know, getting worse. Materialism, social media creates a lot of envy among these girls also. You know, then this showing off mentality, grandstanding, showboating. These status games people play, the girls play also. Status games, ego games, the social games, yeah. This influencer culture, the swiping mentality, parading around. But this is also all happening on a global scale, not only in the Philippines. This is globally happening, and we have to kind of adopt to it, somehow accept it. You don't need to participate in it. I'm not participating in that, you know, but I kind of have to come to terms also with that. It's just like it is, you know, and then you have to deal with these women, with these Filipinas, dysfunctional, arrogant, demanding, entitlement mentality, completely unrealistic expectations. It's getting more and more also in the Philippines, you know. These girls are getting full of themselves. Some of them will fall very deep. I will promise and guarantee you that, because they are not psychologically developed, they're immature. As long as they get their fix, you know, everything is cool, but they need more. Once the fix stopped, they will drown, you know, but that shouldn't be our concern. This is just my observation. But this is the women we have to deal with now also, you know, also in the Philippines. This is what's the difference also to 20 years ago. Yeah, that's what I mean with, it was easier to find good girls 20 years ago, in my opinion. This is what it boils down to, basically. Yeah. And many Filipinos maybe also have this the grass is greener on the other side mindset, right? Jumping around from guy to guy, which you can do today with all these social media apps, right? And then these girls are wondering why they're still single or cannot find the right guy or the proper guy. This is also to do because these apps also, they train you to be impatient, yeah, and create the illusion of unlimited supply of men and maybe even women, you know. So these are, in general, the dynamics I see which are creating problems and which has led to a change in the mindset and mentality also of Filipinos today. Why the scene has changed. This is just how it is. It's just my observation. I'm not saying we need to go back to the old days or times which we cannot. We just have to kind of go with the flow. But if somebody asks me, how has it changed now compared to 2006 and 2025, I say, this is what I just said in this video. These are the things which have changed in my opinion. This is what I see, what I observe. You cannot really change it, we just have to adopt, you know. But maybe by a better understanding these dynamics, especially social media and the virtual validation thing, then so we can maybe alter our strategy a little bit, and then lower our expectations also, and and not wondering so much what's going on, and why are the things not working anymore. I mean, the guys, like I said in the beginning, who are in the Philippines for 20 years and longer, they probably would also agree with me that I'm eager to know their opinion, especially their opinion, because they can compare. Or even guys who are in the Philippines for 30 years already. That would be interesting to learn. Yes, so the conclusion is what I mentioned actually basically already. The girls at the time were more serious in finding a serious relationship. There were less players around, less gold diggers, in my opinion, just my opinion and experience. And these girls also were more direct, in a sense that they knew what they wanted. And therefore it was easier and also faster to find a proper Filipina at the time. This is my general conclusion and comparison now. But I'm not whining around, I'm not crying about it, this is just my observation. So now, 20 years fast forward, it's all a little bit different. You can still find many great Filipinas in the Philippines. Probably you should travel more to the province and stuff, right? The big cities are a mess. Manila, Cebu, don't waste your time. This is just how it is, And also Filipinas now, 20 years ago, how many Western guys were living in the Philippines? Less than today, 100%. There was no YouTube dynamic. There was no Philippines hype like that. There were plenty of expats, especially American expats, already living in the Philippines 20 years ago. Many of them veterans, retired from the military. They did their thing, and they're still doing their thing today. And I think these guys are also the ones who have been happily married with the Filipina for a long time. And there you can see the connection. This is for a very good reasons, because the women were also different at the time. Yeah. There are many guys who have been married to their Filipina for 20, 30, 40 years happily. Yeah, they met 20, 30, 40 years ago. Different environment, different dynamics, Today, it's way more difficult. It's not impossible to find a good Filipina. Tons of them out there. But it's getting a little bit more difficult for also various other reasons. You should avoid the cities, go to the province. Because Manila or Cebu 30 years ago, they were way more provincial than today. You didn't have social media and all this crap. This is like a cancer, actually. Yeah. Anyway, so there's still hope, there are still great many Filipinas out there. And if you want to find a good Filipina also, please check Christian Filipina. The link is in the description, okay? Give it a try. Many guys have made great experiences and successful experience with Christian Filipina. Otherwise, I would not mention this here in my video. So with that being said, I'm checking out for today. Looking forward to your comments, especially for the guys who have been living in the Philippines for decades already. Do you agree with me? Did I forgot to mention anything? Did I leave anything out which is of importance? Then please share this with me. I'm eager to learn. And I'm also interested to know, how was it actually 30 or 40 years ago in the Philippines? How were the women? How was the dating thing? How was the dating scene? How were the Filipinas? Yeah? Were they even more sweet and humble and caring and all that? Or were they not full of themselves like many of the chicks today? But anyway. Yeah, if you want to become a member of my channel, if you want to support my work, I don't want to forget this here at the end of this video, then please click the link in the description. You can find out. And also, if you want to book a consultation, then reach out to me. Stop sending me long novels, long emails with all kinds of questions. valid questions, and I'm happy to answer them, but not on email anymore. There are guys out there who want free advice, and my free advice is here in these videos, you know. This is free advice. It doesn't cost you anything, just maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes to watch these videos, otherwise they're free of charge. If you want to support me, become a member or book a consultation, okay? And then I'm happy to work with you, a one-on-one call, and we can discuss all these matters in details and then sort things out for you. So with that being said, I'm checking out. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.